Honkai Star Rail needs a skip button. That is a sentence that would get me burnt at the stake like this is the Salem witch trials because for some reason asking for basic QOL is a controversial take. But I'm a 50 subscriber Andy on YouTube, so who cares? I'm just going to discuss it anyways. First of all, the amount of time that it takes is absolutely ridiculous. Contrary to what people think of the average Hoyo fan, I am not a greasy 30-year-old man who sits in his basement all day and is chronically looking at Kafka Rule 34. I am a person who works near full time and goes to college. I don't have time to sit through all the sheer levels of yapping that this game has. Although the community likes to constantly push some narrative that this game is story focused, I heavily disagree, and I'm going to explain to you why today. So the main reason that I say that is because of the updates that we get. For example, pretty much every update we get more endgame, we get more polls, we get QOL that helps us with our relics and such. We get all that pretty much every patch. What have we gotten when it comes to the story? We have gotten the little thing in the train that you can see like the old pictures and where you can replay dialogue. And that's really about it from what I'm telling. Also, all the events we get are combat focused. Especially like now the War Dance event, that is an entire combat event. That is not a story event. There might be some story in it, but that's not the focus. Focus is the fighting and the rewards. And why do we get double drop rate events all the time? For double EXP, double relics, double planners. Why not instead of that, we get like a 2x story speed button or something like that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And for some reason, asking this is a very controversial take. There's a very hive mind mentality in the Hoyoverse community that if you don't like the story, you either are an ADD zoomer, you don't have an attention span, or you're just a hater and you're playing the game wrong. Because since you didn't enjoy the game that I enjoyed, the way I enjoyed it, that means you're wrong. And this mentality is absolutely ridiculous and needs to stop. Asking for basic quality of life in a game should always be a positive thing. You should have every right to criticize a game that you don't feel is meeting your standards, or meeting the standards of the community. And this is one of the things. This is not a outlandish thing to ask for, because this is already in their other games. It is in Zenless. It is in Honkai Impact 3rd. It might be in Tears of Thanatos. I don't know. That game is dead, so we're not going to know. It is so simple to add. Some dude can just lean over the desk and say, hey, can we get that in this game? Oh yeah, cool. Alright, great. And then it's there. That's all it takes. And trust me, there are some good points in the story, but I feel like if you need to sit through a 6-hour quest for the story to be good, then it's probably not that great of a story. And again, I don't think this game is story focused. There's so much combat in this game, and all the events are combat. I mean, that seems like a combat game to me. Now, some people are going to say that the skip button will cause some problems, so I'm going to debunk a few common arguments. The first argument I get is it will hurt character sales. No, it won't, and let me explain to you why. If somebody's skipping the story, they're not going to be pulling the characters because of the story. That just doesn't make any sense. They're going to be pulling because of probably gameplay, meta, they look cool, things like that. Sure, maybe having a story could help a little bit, but it's not going to be the main reason, especially for people who already skipped the story. Because trust me, there are not a ton of people who are just, reading the whole story, reading everything that the game throws at them. They're not doing that. It might be a rare few, and if you are that person, congrats, you're in the minority. But that's not everyone. A lot of people I've seen, especially online, just skip the story because of how long it is, how boring it is, how much it yaps, how much it talks, and how bad the storytelling is. Another common argument that I see all the time is that if you have a skip button, that means your story isn't good. I don't really know where this mentality came from, but it doesn't make any sense. Just because you have a skip button does not make it bad. A lot of games with stories have skip buttons. Example, Zenless Zone Zero, that actually has quite a decent story in my opinion. I love the storytelling in that game. If they did something similar to that in HSR, I would love that. But they don't. And that way of storytelling is actually really good. And you also have a skip button, so if you want that option to skip it, then you can. You are not forced to sit through it. That's the problem. These people are forced to sit through it, so they don't have a choice. And I think all of this was really accelerated to how badly this game needs a skip button was when the Clocky statue came up. This shit beat my ass. I don't know who decided to put this in the game, but the fact that you are essentially forced to explore a stupid amount, get the stupid birds, and you have to do all these godforsaken quests that are unvoiced, that are just help random NPC do this, do that. It's nobody wants to do it, man. If you don't care enough to voice a quest, I don't care enough to read it. And they didn't care enough for that. But you're forced to do this because it gives you one of the best characters in the game, Harmony Trailblazer. And that's a problem. If you are forced to do it for a character that is that broken, I think that's a bit of an issue. I remember back in 2.2, if you wanted to get E5 Harmony MC, that was the highest at the time, you had to do pretty much all the exploration and like all of the quests. I did that, and that was the most painful experience of my life. It's good now because newer players that have the airship and such will never have to experience that. But if you were there, man, you know it was rough. So that's what I really wanted to talk about today. I want to know your thoughts. Please keep it civil in the comment section. If you like the story, that is perfectly fine, but I don't want to listen to it anymore. I really don't. And that's my own opinion, and you're entitled to yours as much as I'm entitled to mine. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share us with your friends, and have a great day. See ya.